No, thank you, Ray. Thank you for coming, for spending a few days in the Willamette Valley. You know that for us, this is key to show you this beautiful wine region, to show you our estate as well, our property, the truth about what we do in the Willamette Valley, and the link with Jadot and Burgundy, what is our motor or motivation for this project. Good question. You know, if I met you, Ray, in Burgundy in 2016, I will tell you that my life will be always in Burgundy because I was born, I grew up in Burgundy, I worked for Jadot, and I loved what I was doing in Burgundy. But as you know, Jadot started a new adventure outside of the Burgundy, the first time outside making wine outside of Burgundy, starting this project in 2013, Résonance, and starting with a small vineyard, only 20 acres. So too small to send a team, you know, to start a big project in link with that. But in 2015, the thing changed because we had the chance to buy this beautiful property next, adjacent to Résonance Vineyard, and another size, 350 acres almost, not planted at this time, but beautiful hills, the place for us to plant and to develop the project by ourselves. And so as soon as we were ready to plant in Oregon, it was time for Jadot to have somebody on site. So why today I am in Oregon? Clearly because Jadot offered to me and to my family the opportunity to come and to follow up the project, to follow up the plantation, to follow up the construction of our winery, then the tasting room, and to grow up almost with the vines, you know, in this new wine region for us. Voilà. No, no idea about what is Oregon, and to be frank, we had the opportunity to come with my wife before, just to discover, but it was in April. And in April, in Oregon, it could be a little wet, and in fact, I think that was better for us to not visiting the Willamette Valley before our move, and we arrived in August 2017. It was beautiful weather, almost 100 Fahrenheit, blue sky like today, way better for sure, yes. This is what makes this project a little unique. That was the first acquisition, Résonance Vineyard. This vineyard was planted in 1981, first plantation in 1981, with ungrafted pommard, unrooted. At this time that was small, but year after year, the farmer, the grower who started this project, planted additional Pinot, Dijon, in 1984, Wädenswil in 1987, and then additional Pommard, Dijon, Wädenswil from the original block, Massal selection from the block, until today with 20 acres that are unrooted, ungrafted, and I have an exception, I can touch the table, but because today it's still without any phylloxera contamination. This is why I touch wood. It's not only by touching wood, we have to be extremely vigilant with this vineyard, being meticulous with our farming, having one tractor that we use only for these 20 acres. When we till the soil, you know, we don't risk to introduce the phylloxera from contaminated area. We have the chance to have this unique environment. We are surrounded by other grafted vineyards, et puis this unique soil, the marine sedimentary soil that stress a lot the vines because it's very drainful, but probably very stressful for the phylloxera as well. So these few details that makes for the moment this place totally unique, and I hope really I will be the guardian of this vineyard and we will try to keep it safe and without phylloxera. Why it is so interesting? Because today in Burgundy, all the vineyards are grafted. We have phylloxera everywhere. It's hard for me to tell you what is the difference between grafted and grafted, but for sure that deliver a pure expression of the place, having ungrafted Pinot. It is an effort, but we have the feeling to be responsible of something almost unique. Today in the Willamette Valley, it's not unique, but there are not a lot of vineyards that are still ungrafted without phylloxera. So, it's a part of our challenge and responsibilities, I would say, to try to keep it safe. Yeah. Today at Resonance, we own 140 planted acres within 3 different AVAs, with total 100 acres of Pinot Noir and 40 acres of Chardonnay. So really Chardonnay is coming. Pinot Noir, we had a good idea of what is Pinot Noir in the valley when we came, because the Willamette Valley is known for Pinot Noir. The work we did from 2013 confirmed that our terroirs are unique, deliver a unique expression. Now we have a clear idea that the Chardonnay will be unique as well. Really, the Chardonnay have found a unique place, a unique wine region in the Willamette Valley to grow, and this is very encouraging for the future. Yeah. So, voilà. I grew up in Burgundy, in Mâconnais, surrounded by the vines. My family, my parents didn't work in the wine industry, but around us, everything is in link with the vineyard. So I had an early passion for the wine. My grandfather had an amazing cellar. He had a vineyard, but he had a beautiful cellar. And when I was a kid, he was always asking me to come with him to help to choose a bottle. Alors that was my connection with the wine, like a passion, like a lot of people can have. But I didn't imagine working in the wine industry. I have still a great passion for history, especially French history, and I wanted to turn my passion into my job, like a lot of kids, and when you love history, you don't have a lot of options, Alors bon, after reflection, I decided to go to the University of Law, public law, and I was graduated with a licence, so 3 years, kind of bachelor, a little bit, and wanted to become an officer in the French army. So, yes, in fact, in the French gendarmerie, I started like that. I had to leave the school because I have an issue with one A, not a big issue, but in the army, say, you are exactly what they want, or if you are not exactly...
You're in or you're
Voilà, exactly. So I left the school and I worked with a family, in a family estate, for 1 year, and working in the vineyard and the cellar, and I loved that. I didn't know the technical aspect of the wine, and really I discovered more than a passion, really an interest, I decided to return to the school. I went to a bachelor degree in viticulture and then a master degree in œnology at the University of Dijon in Burgundy at the Institut Jules Guyot, and I was graduated with a national diploma of œnologist. And this is when I discovered the Maison de Négoce, and that was a revelation for me. A maison like Jadot, the link between the tradition, the history, the patrimoine, when you see Jadot, all these old cellars, the old church, the Couvent des Jacobins that has been turned into a winery. Today it's a beautiful dinner room, but it was a winery before. And so the past, and at the same time, all the new technology, equipment today that help us to reveal better the terroir of Burgundy. I love that. And so this is why I decided to work in the wine industry in link with this Maison de Négoce. That was really my goal, my dream. And I was very happy and proud when I joined Maison Jadot. Ouais. In terms of winemaking, I would say it's probably not the most different. it's probably the closest. The most difference will come with the farming. The concept is the same. For us, it was clear that we will be organic in our farming process, and we will dry farm. Key because we want deep roots, and we want roots expressing the complexity of the place through the grapes and then through the wine. You know, this is what we do in Burgundy. By the law in Burgundy, we cannot irrigate. Here, when you come, almost you can do what you want, you know. So you irrigate or not, you have high density or low density or Pinot Noir or Syrah, what you want. There is no list of things to do. It's a big gap between all the condition of production listed in Burgundy and here almost nothing. But having our experience in Burgundy and seeing the expression of the vines when they are dry farm, that was clear, this is what we had to do. But at the same time, we were not with a rigor that would say, okay, we have to plant exactly like we would do in Burgundy, with this density of plantation, with this high tractor, you know, to farm. No, we have to use what is working in Oregon. We were not the first to come. The people who started planting Pinot in the 1960s, they were not a lot, but they were farmers, they were growers. They spend all their energy in the vineyard. Think about the family Lett, the Dick Raff, you know, Charles Coury, the Ponzi family, David Adelsham. They spend all their time in the vineyard. And this is key. If you have beautiful fruit, then it's easy to use a way to make the wine that will work, you know. Winemaking, as I work at Jadot, and we have one way to make our wine at Jadot, even if we have a lot of different appellations. Jadot, it's about 130 different wines per vintage, all of them from Burgundy. So when you see how compact is Burgundy, you understand that. But that makes sense to have the same winemaking approach, because the place will bring the difference through all these different wines. Here, we don't have so much different terroir, but we have the chance to have today 3 AVAs, three vineyards in 3 different AVAs. So by using exactly the same technique that reveals the difference from the place, and more than that, by using the same technique than at Maison Jadot, we can truly compare the expression of a Pinot Noir from an appellation in Burgundy versus the expression of Resonance Vineyard in Yamil Carlton, you know, and then Découverte Vineyard from Dundee Hills with another. Voilà, so it's easy. We use the same barrels than at Jadot. We use the same philosophy, really. I don't say that in the future it will be not different. Who knows what can happen in link with the weather. But for the moment, it's a little bit our direction. Voilà, so. We are open daily from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. every day. Every day from Monday to Sunday. Things have changed a little bit from the COVID, so we encourage people to make a reservation, because we can dedicate more attention to set up the table, to personalize a little bit the visits. So it's always better, because some moments we are very busy. However, most part of the time, walking are fine. We have always 1 or 2 tables available. So with 2 very different sites, 2 different experiences. It was key for us, if you want, to have a tasting room, to have a facility that will be in harmony with our property, with our place, with our terroir. And this is what we try to do by building these kind of Oregon barn, using reclaimed wood from all barns, because they match well with this beautiful oak tree that we have in both properties, and voila. So it's a part of the experience, it's a part of the message that we want to deliver when you visit Resonance, you taste wine, but more than that, you have an immersion in the place, in the terroir. ResonanceWines.com. With my accent, I don't know if this is the best, but